Yeah, god damn it. One,
Yes,
two,
again.
1, 2, 3. Hey guys, tonight's episode of Nintendo Dads is brought to you by, well, you, the amazing Patreon supporters. What? You're not a Patreon supporter? That's okay. Head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, and for as little as $1 a month, you can help us make amazing Nintendo Dad content. And if you don't, that's okay too. We'll still like you, sort of, kind of, ish. Hey guys, welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 80. On tonight's episode, we are joined by our amazing pre-E3 guests, RogersBase.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
This whole computer just crapped out, I can tell.
Thank you, technical difficulties. Oh, wow. There goes the whole call. All right, so 1 second while we get the call back, and then we'll start over again.
Justin was giving the intro.
Oh wow, Windows still does those? Dang.
I need to.
Are you on 98 over there?
No, I'm on freaking Windows 10. I'm on a Surface
man.
Pro 4, man. Like,
Really?
there is literally no reason for it to
There
be.
is
I
no
need
reason. That's amazing.
I need to. It happens more often than I'd like, though. I think I need to. I
To
don't
be
know.
fair,
you know-
it's probably because of Skype. So
No, it
You know,
totally probably is.
If you
You're right.
didn't like my intro, you didn't have to hang up the call.
No, it was so bad that I got blue screen of death over it.
You're like, that's a dick move.
Yeah, and yeah. Yeah. Hang on.
Do we have everyone back?
I don't know. Hang on. I'm gonna have to actually drop. Hopefully, this doesn't drop everybody. Hang on.
It dropped everybody. Good job.
I'm back.
Okay. Everybody back?
I'll be back.
I think so.
Roger.
Go
Are you-
Ninja, go Ninja, go.
Okay. Joshua.
Yes.
Sweet. We have everyone.
Oh yeah. Just a second. I gotta pull up my music again. Yeah, it works. Wow, somebody's really noisy now, though. I don't know who it is. Who's got white noise? It might be me. I hope not. Nope, it doesn't seem to be me. Hang on, let me do a quick sound test on this.
I muted for a bit.
Oh,
Wow.
this is really loud. Hang on. That'll do.
I'll do, pig. I'll do.
That
I love that movie.
I don't know why it was it was like a Scottish accent just now, but I approve. Okay, we're good to go. I'll pull up the notes.
Okay. You got a fresh track?
Good to go, dude.
Okay. Hey guys, tonight's episode of Nintendo Dads is brought to you by amazing Patreons like you. For as little as $1 a month, you can help us make amazing Nintendo Dads content. Head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, and every dollar helps. Thanks very much, guys. Enjoy the show. Welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 80. On tonight's episode, we are joined by our amazing pre-E3 guests, RogersBase, Josh Thomas, and Andre Seegers to discuss everything that we know and wish we didn't know about Nintendo's plans for E3, plus your Twitter questions and so much more. Zach, cue the music.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Dads podcast. My name is Zach Erickson, and tonight is June the 8th, 2016. We are less than a week away from E3 2016, and tonight we have some awesome stuff going on. Justin Masson is here, of course. Justin, what's going on, man?
Oh, man, I am sweating it out in my basement. It is like wicked hot here.
Justin, you live in Canada. It's probably like 25 degrees.
There's like sweat dripping down my back. I'm in a small kiddie pool of like sweat right now.
That is delicious. Speaking of
sweaty deliciousness,
Jesse Waldeck from BGTribune.com. What's going on, Jesse?
Oh, wow, I didn't expect that. You know, it's a nice and cool 68 degrees where I'm at right now.
Nice. I think that's
much
probably
cooler
around,
than your 25 degrees.
Yeah.
So,
what is the...
Deal with that math.
Yeah, I got nothing. I don't know. Right on. So as well, we've got some crazy, awesome guests with us tonight. I don't even know how we're going to manage all the people. Starting off on my left, because I think that's the one that's on my screen. Yes, it is. On my left, RogersBase from RogersBase. What's going on, Roger?
Woo, not too much. We are a week away from E3. I can't wait. Now, who on the podcast am I actually going to see at E3? Who's going to be there?
I think it's just you guys. I don't think any of us three are going, right? Justin, you're not going, are you?
No, Nintendo, ironically enough, asked us about 3 weeks before E3. It was like, hey, if we got you tickets, could you go? And I was like, we have families, so no, not on that kind of notice.
Well,
I mean,
I told Justin, I've got the week off already. I could go. I just don't have $2,000 to get myself there and fed and housing and back.
You know what? I just came up with a new idea for a web series. It's called Jesse Hitchhikes to E3. You just have a cell phone and some cardboard and a thumb. You know, that'd be awesome. I'd watch that.
You're welcome. You're welcome to stay at my apartment, Jesse. If you needed housing, you could stay here.
Do it, man.
Well, that's
Speaking
the easy
that,
part.
That would be like a comedy buddy show I would watch. Jesse and Roger living in a house together. It'd be like perfect strangers.
We did that.
We did that 5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago. Yeah.
Nice. Joining us as well is Josh Thomas from TheBitBlock. Josh, what's going on, man? We are on like right off of the heels of your own digital event.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Although I talked about more than one thing in my digital event,
Oh,
and I had a digital event. So.
Nice. Very nice.
strike two.
Nice. It's nice to have you here as well. Andre Seegers from GameXplain. How's it going on?
What's up? Not too bad. Just desperately thinking of topics to talk about.
Yeah, I know, right? We planned this a long time ago, and then as we kind of went through everything, we kind of realized, oh, geez, we're still gonna have this prediction show, and what is there to predict? Well, I'm sure we'll
like
figure
February when we initially planned this.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was a good producer, and I was proactively booking our shows like 4 months in advance, and then Nintendo decided to throw a wrench in that.
We were so young and naive back then.
I know. What were we thinking? If only we knew what we didn't know now.
Yeah, seriously, right on. You know, it's funny though because I was thinking about this today, like ahead of the show, and I kind of had this weird sort of like, I don't know, coming to Ganon moment. I don't know where I just was like, you know what, where I just, you know, I figured like, okay, I'm excited. For the first time, I was excited. Oh, my music just died. There you go. My phone was not excited. For the first time was excited about E3. Like it was this weird thing where I was like, you know what? I kind of like Zelda. It's kind of a fun franchise. Maybe it'll be cool. And this is what we're getting. And so we might as well enjoy it, I guess, was kind of my thought here. So that's hopefully at least, and I know that's not to say that there's going to be some serious cynicism coming as well. tonight, but I think it's definitely going to be a fun time. So right on. So let's head straight in. Just for everybody as well, it's important to know that we are not really covering too much news. We're going to talk about Nintendo's E3 plans. We're not going to do what we've been playing.
It wasn't much news anyway.
Yeah, really, other than the news of what we're doing, what Nintendo's doing, there wasn't a whole lot more. And yeah, so we're gonna cover E3 stuff. We'll have predictions, and then we've got a lot of listener stuff as well coming in as well. So with that, let's head straight into the news. Maybe. Oh no, let's rename the file. No.
Wow.
Well, you're renaming that. The news is brought to us by OneUpBox.com. Head over to OneUpBox.com, and if you like to save money on subscriptions, use the code NintendoDads at checkout, and they will help you save on your first box. We love our partnership with OneUpBox.com, and they're really cool exclusive T-shirts. I love those things, actually. So, yeah. Now, on to the news there.
Yeah, right on. So, I'm guessing you didn't hear that bumper.
No.
Oh, good. That's great.
We're back to this again.
Awesome.
What was
Thanks,
the bumper for? We
Thanks,
can ad-lib the bumper.
It was news. I don't know. It was a thing. That's fine.
It's symbolic of the lack of news recently.
Exactly.
This has been an issue for like the last 2 months, off and on.
I don't know what the crap is going on, dude. Anyway, who cares? Let's get moving. Basically, what we have here, was it just today or was it yesterday that Nintendo announced formally their sort of big plans for, I guess the Miitomo plans for this year were like today, right?
Yeah,
an official press release came out today that kind of laid out their plans. We before kind of heard rumblings of it. Like last week we heard of Pokemon Sun and Moon. They're like, oh, by the way, we're going to show that before Zelda. Nintendo hadn't really quite confirmed it, but it would just kind of dropped. But today was the actual, like, here are the bullet pointed plans that we're making. So
right. And before we even get into this, it is because as far as I can tell, I don't know if their plans changed or if this was their plan all along. I can't tell. What I can tell is that if their plans changed, then I think maybe that's okay. Like that might be all right. If their plans didn't change and this was their plan all along, then they have a serious problem, which Nintendo already has this problem, but they have a serious problem with managing expectations of fans going into events.
And communicating to fans.
Whether that is, Nintendo Directs or E3 or whatever, they always seem to have issues with managing fan expectations. But anyway, so let's get into this first of all. So basically, starting on June 8th, which was today, there is the Legend of Zelda Twitter campaign for Miitomo in-app gifts. So basically, if you remember, was it a month or two ago that they did the Splatoon campaign to get the Splatoon items in? It
was like early April, I think. It was really early on in Miitomo's life.
Right, yeah. So there was the Splatoon campaign to get the Splatoon items. Basically, what they're doing is they're doing that again, but they're doing it with Zelda stuff, including a Zelda wig from the new game. So you can have Blondie Link instead of slightly darker haired Link with a hat, I guess. So that is the retweet campaign, which is what they did last time, which I think is super. I don't know. It's kind of dumb.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of just begging for like retweets, wouldn't you say, Andre?
It does seem a little bit sad, almost in a way. It's like Nintendo's just coming to grips with what Twitter can do. Like they're trying to force it being viral. It almost feels like.
Yeah, it's like if it was any more like that, it would almost be like through some sort of like, I don't know, some sort of other platform or something. I don't know. It's weird. But just begging for follows or something, like our Facebook page.
So far, it's just shy of 14,000 retweets.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is that was there ever any question that this is actually going to get what they said? No.
Like how sad would it be if it didn't? Like how depressing would that be?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I have not played Miitomo, if you could even call it playing a game. I have not picked up that app or turned it on in the past, 3 or 4 weeks. I honestly cannot remember the last time I used it.
I still hit it daily just to try to squeeze out as many coins as I can.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I don't even read them anymore. I literally just tap my thumb on the screen as fast as I can, and then add 3 questions, get my coins, and I'm out of there.
Sometimes I don't even answer the questions.
I was coin harvesting, and now I'm just like, for what? You're not giving me anything worth this.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem.
I've got almost 2,200 coins, and I put a tweet out earlier today saying, when do these expire, and are they going to give me something to buy before they do?
No.
You can live like a king in Miitomo now, apparently.
Yeah. So anyway,
me
so
already has a little crown.
It would be hilarious though, Andre, if it did fail and they're like, well, fine, you don't get the wig. Like that's basically what would happen, right?
Now,
That would be amazing.
I would love if Nintendo let us cash in, I don't know, like 1,500 coins, and you get an E3 Zelda Wii U demo at your home station.
Yes, please.
Now we're talking.
Like that's what you need to do.
I wouldn't like that, because that would be something that would expire. That would be something that should be giving to everybody for free if they're smart. I wouldn't want that. I would want them to get. I do want the demo, but I don't want them to charge my Nintendo coins for
I'd
them.
expect the demo to blow up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
After
exactly right, and so it'd be on forever.
Time.
Well, there's a huge problem with the idea of giving a demo to people to build up hype for a game. It involves being smart enough to come up with the idea to do that, and we're talking about Nintendo right now, right? So
well, last year they did the Indies at Home thing, where they did all the indie things. But basically, what they did was they told indies, "Hey, if you make demos and give them to us, we will distribute them for."
That was little effort on Nintendo's part. They didn't have to develop that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and so
to be fair, I also think it's kind of strange that, like, even if they would consider doing a demo for Zelda Wii U, like, that people would be excited for that. Because I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, like, if that game comes out day and date with the NX version, I'm not even going to touch the Wii U version. Like, I'm going to get the NX version. I might as well just, like, play the demo at E3, and then that'll be that until the NX version comes out.
Well, and that was...
I think most of us are in the same boat.
Yeah.
And I think early on, when we were under the impression that Zelda was the only thing going to be shown at E3, even on the streams and stuff like that, that was a big concern. Was, what are you going to do? Show us Zelda for 2 days and just spoil the whole thing? Like, that's not what I want. So
no, I do think what they'll probably end up doing is something similar to the year that actually me and Jesse and everybody, we were in that VG Tribune house for E3, which was when Skyward Sword had their demo. And the demo stations for Skyward Sword were split up among like 3 groups, where one was like a dungeon area, one was a boss battle, and then one was like an open world exploration collectathon demo. And I think it's kind of going to be something similar to that. I think there's going to be like 7 or 8 Zelda demos, all with different things you could do, and they'll just be scattered throughout the booth. But we already know the game is open world, so there's probably going to be a lot of different things that you could do. There'll probably be like a fishing minigame demo. There'll probably be a dungeon, a boss. I don't know. There's a lot of things they could do.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about our predictions and stuff in a minute here. Let's finish the plans and stuff, and then we'll get to that. So June 14th, we've got the more Legend of Zelda Miitomo stuff coming. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but basically Miitomo drop. There's going to be Zelda stuff. Nintendo Treehouse Live. It's funny because they've changed what they've said. But like they said before, it's going to be Zelda. Now at 9 a.m. Pacific time, they're starting their stream with Pokemon Sun and Moon. I think that's pretty interesting that they're starting with that, and then they're going to do Zelda. My guess is that they're probably going to show off, and they're probably going to reveal like the starter evolutions or something. I don't know.
Well, for that, they did this a couple years ago too with X and Y. Is they showed off a bunch of different like characters that were exclusive to the games, but normally, and the main reason why I think they're doing this in the morning, normally this stuff leaks in Koro, and I think they just kind of want to get the jump on the magazine and on the leaks by doing it earlier.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you, like, why would they, because they're doing 2 days, right? They're doing day 1, we know, is Zelda and Pokemon. Then day 2, they have mentioned that they're going to demo other games, right? They've said that, or Sharp FE and Dragon Quest. I'm like, then why would you not just have Pokemon in day 2, right? Just day 1 exclusive, just all the Zelda stuff, day 1. We're done with that. Day 2, here's all of our other games. But I kind of like your reasoning for that, Roger, from the leaking perspective.
Yeah.
Well, I think as well. Usually, I think with X and Y, at E3 that year, there was like the developer roundtable or whatever that evening, right? Where they talked a lot about it, and so for them to bring this basically the same thing but bring it into Treehouse Live, I think is a smart and natural sort of progression of that too. So
yeah.
As well, Nintendo eShop sale is going to be happening. They haven't said what is there, right? They haven't said what's going on, but apparently there's going to be sales. And they also say we are encouraging you to go and register for My Nintendo now to avoid the E3 rush, which, okay.
They're expecting their servers to crash everywhere.
Yeah, that's a great thing to. So basically, we've just got Zelda and Pokemon on day 1, is what they've said, and then Nintendo Treehouse Live day 2, which is on the 15th. They're going to be starting with Pokemon Go, which I bet you we get a release date because they've done the second wave of American betas. They've got to be close. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a release date on the 15th. And then we've also got Monster Hunter Generations, Dragon Quest VII, and Tokyo Mirage Sessions. So if you were afraid that you're not going to have an RPG to play, or that they're not going to show anything, there's 3 of them that day. I guess Monster Hunter, I don't know. I guess it's an RPG. It's kind of, I don't know, something else maybe. But yeah, so that's E3. Any thoughts on their plans before we get into predictions?
They're awful.
Tell us more, Josh. Why are they awful?
Oh, God. Well, we've got about 1 billion RPGs that'll be shown and Zelda. Okay. I mean, this is not exciting. What am I supposed to be excited for other than Zelda? And I want to watch like a 3-minute trailer of Zelda and then leave and go do something with my day. I don't want to watch these treehouse people. That's where they all belong, in a tree far away from me. I don't want to watch these treehouse people for an entire day. I don't want to watch it for 10 minutes.
You know what? That is exactly my problem with it too, Josh. Is that I don't think they like. For them, it's like, oh, well, we'll just sit on a stage for 2 days and talk about video games. And it's like, I'm sorry, but that is not an effective way to get your message across, is to sit on a stage for 2 days and talk about this. Like,
particularly nowadays when people are, like, nobody has patience to do anything nowadays. We want the information instantly and when we want it. Nobody's going to spend a day watching this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You say no one's going to spend a day watching it, I guarantee you. There are plenty of people who are going to be spending their days.
Let me put it this way.
Nobody at E3 will be sitting there all day watching it.
Well, I'm going to put it this way. Nobody's whose fingers are not stained with Dorito dust are going to sit and watch the entire day of this thing.
Well, and here's the thing is that even the people who, if you were given a choice, would you like to sit here and try and glean any sort of information for 2 full days, or would you like Nintendo to actually have some sort of a prepared media presentation that lasts an hour and give the same amount of information? Like,
no,
yes,
you know what I would actually want is I want, instead of just 2 days of Zelda, how about you give us a little tease of NX? That's what I want. Because if they're honestly planning to release NX in March, I completely understand them like holding off showing it at E3 and like doing a full blowout because they want to have their own separate little event thing, which is fine because it worked out well for Sony and for PS4. I get it, that's fine. But you have to have some type of a tease. Like, they needed to do some type of tease, I think.
They also
to
have
appeal to
to be careful because they're going to bit Microsoft in the butt.
Yeah. So I don't know. That was my big thing. When I heard this thing about Zelda, like, I was excited that now we had a release window for NX and we had all this information, and I was excited about the news. But in terms of the actual event, like, I'm much more excited to like go to E3 and see what the booth is going to look like than I am to actually play Zelda. And I think that's kind of sad because ultimately, like, I don't know.
I mean, I think it's a little bit weird because this is the first time I can think of in Nintendo's history that, as far as we know everything they're going to show off, at least in terms of what games they're showing off. Yeah. So we know there's like no major surprises going in. And that's a weird thing because although I'm really hyped to see Zelda, like knowing that there's nothing that we don't know about going to be there as far as we know, it takes a lot of the steam out of the E3 sales for me. So yeah, totally. It's just very weird. It's just a weird time, I feel like.
Well, and here's the thing too, is I wonder if like 3 months from now, or like 4 or 5 months from now, when Nintendo does unveil NX, are we going to feel the same about it as we do now? You know what I mean? Like is now the best time to build hype when they're competing with Microsoft and Sony and, you know, competing with everybody else? Is Zelda the best way for them to stand out versus NX? Like, I don't know if that's, like, obviously it's a calculated decision that they've made,
right?
Hopefully, but maybe for them to actually hold their own event and really blow the doors off, I think it possibly could turn out better. I think we'll only know when the actual unveiling happens.
Mm-hmm. So. I agree with you completely because of like, we already know there's going to be the new PlayStation. We already know there's going to be the new Xbox, and both of them are going to be talked about at E3. So I don't think, like you said, I don't think they wanted the NX to be overshadowed. However, they could have easily still said like, oh, we'll have a little teaser, like 5-minute thing of a bunch of clips of a bunch of games, and we'll go into full detail in a couple months, and then people would be happy. But by outright telling people we're not going to show you anything, that's what caused all this backlash.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that really backlashes is that you are showing us, or really, getting a good view of Zelda to a game that we're not playing for more than a year on a system that we're most likely not going to be playing it on at all. Right. And I think that's the thing that frustrates me. If you said we are only bringing Zelda to E3, I'm okay with that. If you said to me, but we are going to give it to you in November of 2015 or 2016. We are going to release it again in March or April with the NX, but we're going to let you know the Wii U version is coming out, because then I'd be like, oh, I'm really vested in it. I'm vested in the controls. Hey, Andre's there, Roger's there. Guys, tell me what are the controls like? Is it tight? How does it feel? How does it play? But if I ask you that question and then I know that I'm going to buy it on the NX, everything you've probably told me is probably invalid, or that tells me a lot about the NX, right? One of those two things.
People asked us during E3 and WonderCon and all the previous events last year, hey, how are the controls on Star Fox? And we all said the controls were real bad, and people still bought Star Fox. So
no, they didn't. Star Fox sales were terrible.
You know what I'm thinking of though, Justin. A long time ago we had an interview with Blake Harris from shoot, I'm blanking on the name. What's his book?
Console Wars.
Console Wars. One of the things that I always have remembered about that, and the story of the NES and the Super Nintendo and all of that, was that Nintendo would intentionally withhold stock in order to increase hype. And I'm wondering if what they're doing here is if this is actually what they're doing, it's crazy manipulative and also genius. But the idea of fans really, really, really want to know about the NX, how about we don't give it to them when they expect it, and that way they're going to want it even more when we do show it off. I feel like that is actually probably the biggest, like one of the biggest explanations for why they're doing it, because
that's a huge risk though, right? Because you have two other developers, you've got two other entertainment systems, Xbox and PlayStation, that are putting out new systems. If I am a person who is angered by what Nintendo's done, maybe frustrated by the Wii U, and now you're not giving me any information, and I've already put aside my $300 dollars for it, fine, I'm going somewhere else. Right. Yeah. I think that's where fans can very easily jump ship. And I think that's a calculated risk that Nintendo's taking. And I don't think it's going to end up in their favor.
Yeah, I think that they literally cannot go through E3 without mentioning NX. It's just something that I don't think can happen. It's got to be a topic. It's going to be the big thing on the show floor for sure. And they're going to have to talk about it. They can't ignore it. And
I totally agree with that, because Zelda Wii U and NX is basically an advertisement for the NX. We don't know to what extent yet, but presumably this will be the system that everyone wants to buy it on. However, there's one thing I am wondering though, and that is, we're all presuming this is going to be the next generation console from Nintendo. It should make Zelda NX should look better than it does on Wii U. But I'm almost wondering, what if it's not? We're assuming Zelda NX would be the definitive version. What if it's not necessarily? What if the NX actually does end up being like a handheld type thing that does just connect to your TV, and Zelda Wii U maybe won't necessarily be eclipsed by the NX version? Maybe the version we're going to see at E3 is basically the definitive one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe that for a second, just because of Twilight Princess. Like, they kept saying,
that's kind of a similar thing. Like, the GameCube one was almost better than the Wii one. In fact, I would say it was better than the Wii one.
It was the GameCube version better than the Wii version.
Oh yeah, without the waggle controls and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Wow, really?
Camera controls, it was way better.
Wow. Yeah,
I think I'd take Roger's side on this. I think the Wii version was way better.
Yes, like by a lot. I'm surprised I agree.
Wait.
It's only because I'm here. I threw things off.
Yeah. So let's get into our predictions and stuff like that, guys. I know we don't have a whole lot to go on, or a whole lot to really spin off of even, but I think what we'll do is we can kind of go around and kind of I'm guessing that everybody's going to kind of have a lot of similar predictions. But yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll kind of go around once and then kind of get a feel for if we've got more, if we can go around again, all that kind of stuff. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Cool.
All right, so Andre, would you mind going first for us? What is your first prediction for E3 2016?
Okay, I mean this one is super obvious, but it has to get out there. We've known about Zelda Wii U for at least, if not more than 2 years. We are finally going to learn the name of this game. And I'm really excited for that. Like, I want to know what this game is finally called so we can stop calling it Zelda Wii U and NX, which is just super awkward. So,
yeah. Do you think we're going to get cover art?
That's a good question. No, I don't think we will.
No?
Yeah,
Cool.
because we don't even know when the game's coming out yet beyond next year. So I'm going to say I don't think we'll find that out until we're closer to release.
Cool. Right on. Yeah. Any thoughts on that, guys? Do you think I think that's a pretty safe bet.
It's a pretty safe bet, I think. That's about as safe bet you can get, yeah.
Nice.
Right.
Right on. I like it. Josh, what about you? What is a prediction from you?
Well, I mean, I guess most of these predictions are going to involve The Legend of Zelda. It's the only game to predict from. I'm going to predict The Legend of Zelda. One of the key features of this game is going to be that there's a lot of voice acting for the first time ever in the series.
I took one of mine. I should start with that one. Dang.
I stole it from you.
Well, like, say a little more about that. Like, what sort of voice are you hoping?
I think all the characters that populate the world will talk to you, except the main character will not actually speak because they're really going to be pushing this whole silly idea that you are supposed to feel like you are the main character.
To Josh,
I think that's the way it's going to be.
Josh, to build off that, just quick question, kind of follow-up question is: do you think we're going to see
no follow-up questions?
No, okay, thank you. Moving on.
No, go ahead.
Do you think we're going to see gender swapping?
Yeah, I think they're going to be like some sort of character customization, and I'm going to hate it. Mic drop.
Man.
I think that, I think there's going to be character customization. I think it might even extend beyond, do you want to be a boy or a girl? I think you might be able to alter more things than that. Link, so-called Link, as we've seen him in these small previews, doesn't seem to always be consistent in the way that he or she looks. When we first saw Link, I instantly thought, wait a minute, that's a girl. And then later when we saw at GDC, it was like, oh, that looks like a boy, that's Link. And now in the newest art, I'm like, that kind of looks like a girl again.
Yeah, the one today specifically, I even tweeted out about it. I got like 100-something retweets and 100-something likes. So I was like, today's art's leading me to believe that we'll actually be able to choose between male or female because she has like, or he or she, whatever it is, has a hood on. Like in the
that's
art.
the other thing that's very suspicious. I've felt.
Yeah, and that to me is making me question some things. So.
Yeah, and I don't like that. I love Link. I want it to be Link. That's not a problem. The series doesn't have a problem with not appealing to girls or anybody. So this is not the series to just all of a sudden be like, no, Link is just an avatar.
Yeah, that's what Link's always been, though. Like, it's just he's just an incarnation of, the spirit of Link or whatever it is, right?
I mean, if they are like boy Link and girl Link, I kind of want them to be siblings. And then, like, whichever one you don't play as is integral to the story. That's kind of what I want.
Kind of like how Pokemon deals with the player character, right? Where you've got one of each, and then you swap them back and forth or whatever.
Well, so that's different, though. Like, a male character and a female character. Like, you play as Link, who's the male, or you play as whatever, who's the girl. Right. Well, not Linkle. I hate Linkle. But come up with a better female character than that.
What?
So if it's Linkle? I can't stand Linkle. I can't stand Linkle's. Here's a fun story. I heard from the grapevine inside of Nintendo. NOA hates Linkle's name with a passion.
Really?
But they couldn't change it because Nintendo Japan said, nope, you can't change it. And that's a frequent problem with Nintendo Japan. They don't let them change names of the characters for certain characters. Like, it's a big problem. That's something that they often debate about. And Linkle is one of them.
Well, think about it. It's Link and girl. Right?
Yeah, it's a parody name almost.
Yeah.
But no, like what I was going to say real quick before people think that I'm being like misogynistic or something, I am not against the idea of a female character being a lead alongside Link. That's great. And that's even been done before in like a lot of Zelda games. You get to play as girls or other creatures and stuff. If they just say, here's Link, here's gender swapped Link, that's lame. And I don't want to see that because that's boring and that's unoriginal.
Well, and because there's so much history with that character too, right?
Yeah.
It's like if they were to release a new Mario game and all of a sudden, you can be boy Mario or girl Mario, right? Like just screw up.
People claim that's not a fair argument because Mario is a more established character. That's the thing. Like, none of Nintendo's characters have personality besides just the very vapid thing. Like, you mean to tell me Kirby is more established than Link? No, of course not.
Hey. Kirby is gender neutral and asexual.
Kirby's a boy.
Very triggered by what you said.
No.
That thoroughly offends me, Joshua.
Well, you know what? Good. Because Kirby's been referred to as a he in many of the games where the little story begins. I'm just saying, like, none of Nintendo's characters, well, let me say that, most of Nintendo's most popular characters don't have much of a personality. And so to say, like, well, Link doesn't have a personality, so therefore Link can be a girl too, I'm not buying that.
I mean, the difference with Link, though, is he literally is a different character in several of the games.
Well, okay,
as far as we know,
want to go now, Andre? Let's go. Okay, here's my rebuttal to that because I've dealt with all these things. Have you ever watched like a classic Pink Panther or a classic Bugs Bunny cartoon where all of a sudden Bugs Bunny's not living in a hole under the ground? He's somebody in the West now. He's a Western cowboy now, and now Bugs Bunny is in a boxing ring. Now Bugs Bunny is this and that. Now he lives in space. Link is just one of those characters where you can kind of take that general character and be like, now he does this. So it's like you wouldn't say Bugs Bunny can be a girl because Bugs Bunny doesn't have.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hang on.
You know what I mean?
Oh, hang on.
sorry, I think we
Stop.
repeat that.
I killed it.
Hey, was it Josh? Was it Josh or was it
Josh broke Skype again.
Okay, no, we're good.
Wait, wait.
No, that's a Skype's good content filter.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, Microsoft has had enough of that. All right, we're back.
Let's hear content rebuttal that though.
Okay, so Josh, your prediction then is about voiceovers. What about tone? Like, are we thinking like, because there are different ways that they can do voiceover. Is there anything specific that you would like with the voiceover? Like, I'm thinking, are we looking at like sort of Elder Scrolls Skyrim, like, you know, very bland? Or like, what is the
I want it to keep personality. Yeah, I mean, I think they should hire professional voice actors and not just have people at the treehouse do it like they do for other games. Like, that's really not.
You guys remember Chris Pranger, who did the voice of one of the bosses in Star Fox Zero?
What's
remember Chris Pranger? Remember
that was replaced, I believe. So it was for the E3 demo, but they replaced him for the final game. As far as I know. Yeah.
Well, they replaced him because he got fired. That's what happened.
Yeah.
That's why they replaced him. So
he's still in the credits, though.
Yeah.
Nice. Right on. So that is
too much of the predictions here. I feel like I've been going on my prediction forever.
That's fine. No, that's good. Roger, what about you, man? What is your first prediction?
So I'm moving away from Zelda because I'm already bored talking about Zelda, and we've only been talking about it 10 minutes.
Oh, you're going to hate this year's E3 then. Jeez.
Well, no. This will be cool. I can't wait to take photo ops with Epona. That'll be fun. My first prediction, which is what I think they're big. Oh, wait, we have one more thing that we didn't announce. Oh, my God, huge surprise. I think their big surprise that, like, isn't announced, that really is the worst kept secret in the industry right now, is that they are currently localizing Mother 3. And I think that will get announced for the eShop during E3 week. I don't know if it'll be in the Treehouse Direct, in between, like, one of the game reveals, or however they're going to announce it. But I would be thoroughly shocked if by the end of next week we don't have an announcement that Mother 3 is coming to North American Virtual Console and that it has a name like Earthbound 2 or Earthbound Endings or Revelations or whatever. It's going to be like Earthbound something. And that's what I think is going to go down. I think we're getting the official translation localization of Mother 3.
And you think it'll be released during E3? I think that would be amazing.
Beginnings, so I don't see why they don't do it for Mother 3. Yeah.
No, if they do that,
that was actually one of mine.
That makes my E3 if they do that. Like, honestly, I'll be like, all right, all is forgiven. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I've played. Wow. I don't know about that. Maybe that's a little much. Have any of you guys played the fan translation of Mother 3?
I tried to, but I couldn't stand the emulators, which screwed up the timing in the battles. So.
Yeah. Either of you guys, Josh or Roger?
I never played it. No, I never played it.
So good. Right on. Yeah, I've played through it. It's amazing. But yeah, and I will play through it again. Like, no questions asked. I really hope that's the case. Any ideas on the name?
Earthbound Endings. It has to be Earthbound Endings.
Don't. That would be sad.
Well, I don't think it'll be Endings. I think it'll be like I don't know, Earthbound Returns or like Earthbound Revelations or something. I don't think it'll be endings. I don't know. I think it'll.
But you don't
be
think
like
it'll be 2.
I don't think it'll be 2. No, I think it'll have a subtitle.
Yeah, I agree. Right on. Let us keep moving. Jesse, what about you? What is your first prediction?
Okay, I'm going to say that sometime during the week, Miyamoto will accidentally let slip something about the NX that we don't already know.
Is Miyamoto going?
Good question.
He's like, well, I guess he's not. I would assume so.
He probably is. Yeah. He'll probably be on hand for
what does he have to show or talk about?
Not necessarily not like on stage, but just talk like you know how loose his lips can be sometimes. Like he slipped about, oh yeah, we're working on Pikmin 4. What?
I think he thinks they're working on a Pikmin 4, but they're not really working.
This is really the DLC.
That's very possible too. Yeah, so I know. So he talked. Like,
He thinks.
They just tell him things now. I bet. Yeah, Mr. Miyamoto. Yeah, we're doing that. Yeah. God, can we start locking the doors in the morning, guys?
I love the thought of Miyamoto as like an old grandfather who's just forgetful about everything.
I think that's what's happening, basically. Yeah. I think that's what's going down at Nintendo.
And there's just too much honor going on.
It was just Iwata keeping him in check.
I think so, yeah. Kimishima's like, oh, God, what am I going to do? I'm the president now of this place? Oh, God. And Miyamoto's just like, oh, skipping around, hula hooping, demanding strange things from the developers.
Flipping over tea tables?
Literally.
Yep.
Right on. So you think something about NX is going to get leaked by Miyamoto? Kind of like what we said before. There's no way that they can go the entire E3 week and not say anything about NX. Like, we're going to hear something, right? Like,
that's what I don't think, know. Yes.
I think they'd be crazy not to say something. I don't necessarily think it'll be even on a live stream. I think it might be in an interview or something like that, right? So
exactly. That's what I'm talking about. It'll happen when there's not a big audience, but just the right person will be there to hear it, and then it'll start spreading.
Yeah, like during his interview with Lamar Wilson or something like that. I don't know. Cool. Right on.
Let's continue.
I don't think I understand that joke, but you can explain it to me later.
So, Justin, what about you, man? What is your?
I think that at some point in the first day they are going to reveal a Zelda and Link amiibo, 8-bit classic kind of throwback, much like they did for the Mario for Super Mario Maker, and it's gonna be like some kind of bundle or whatever, and it's all to celebrate the 30th birthday.
Cool. Right on. So I would love that. I think I can't remember where I'd heard it. Yeah, some podcast somewhere. Like an 8-bit Link amiibo holding the Triforce.
Yeah,
would be that. That's what I. That is what I want.
In the red tunic.
In the red? No, come on, man. You got to have the green tunic. That's what I want, anyway.
Have you ever finished the game with no rings?
No, yeah. Right on. So my first one, I think I kind of mentioned it before, but I think with Pokemon Sun and Moon, they are going to reveal the evolution, or like the final evolution of the starter Pokemon. Isn't that? I am pretty sure that's how they did the original, or in X and Y when they announced the starters for those. They showed the final evolution, or did they show the second one? I don't know. I can't remember.
They never show final evolutions until.
So yeah, the second stage then. Yeah, so whatever the evolution of each of the starters is, I think that's what we're going to see, and maybe a couple of other Pokemon that we haven't seen yet. So I guess I'll save that other one for. I have another Pokemon prediction, but we'll go with that one for now. Right on. So, Andre, I guess we go back to you.
Yeah, well, we're on my last one now because others got used up. So going back to Zelda, I think that Epona or the horse or whatever is going to play a much bigger role than it ever has before. I mean, beyond even just mere transportation. Because we've seen, every time we've seen this game, basically, we've seen the horse especially today's artwork. Like that horse is front and center. So I think it's going to play a major role. I don't know exactly what, but like whether it's like a traveling suitcase, basically, where you can swap gear in and out.
Turns out the horse is actually the hero of time.
Maybe it transforms. Who freaking knows at this point? Maybe it talks. Maybe
Or
it could
that
be like the king of red lions, but
or that becomes like a sidekick, like Donkey in Shrek.
like Eddie Murphy back. He's not doing anything, right?
Oh, and there it is. Eddie Murphy is the horse.
Oh man! All right.
That would be equally epic and horrible at the same time.
There's your voiceover for you, Josh.
Hey, Link, let's go have some waffles, Link. Pancakes. What do we have? What does he say? Waffles and pancakes. I don't know. Let's go get them, Link.
Oh, did Eddie Murphy just show up on this podcast?
He did. Oh, get out of here, Eddie Murphy. I'm trying to record a podcast.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I like that though. Yeah, I think that's a good. Well, and given the size of the environment too, right? Like I think there's a lot. Like you're going to be relying on that horse for transportation for sure. Like I think even just the transportation itself is going to be a much more involved or a much more important part of that game. Just getting from one area to another, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, for sure. Right on. Josh.
Yes.
You, what is your next prediction?
Oh God. I think. Okay. I think they're gonna say. I think during E3 at some point, might be the very final day, they're going to announce when they're going to do another Nintendo Direct where they will talk about other games. So I think they'll announce like, hey, in July, we're going to do a Nintendo Direct where we update you on some games that are coming out for this year. So I think they'll announce that. So they can talk about like Paper Mario and all that stuff.
I actually agree with you, but I think it won't be of new games. I think like at the end of E3, they'll probably announce that they'll have a separate Direct, and I think it'll be their NX blowout. I think they're going to end with, and by the way, we've been talking about NX this whole time, and even though you guys really want to see it, here's the official date for when we're going to show off NX.
That'd be pretty epic.
See, that would be smart. They'd be really, really smart.
So they won't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So they say, and now we're going to talk about in what, September? They're going to
July, whatever. But I could see them ending the Treehouse Live thing with, by the way, stay tuned for the next Nintendo Direct, which is going to be a blowout of NX, whatever, on this date. That's like, it's almost a given, I think.
There's no way they reveal NX on a Nintendo Direct, dude. They're going to be...
Well, it's going to be an event. I mean, it'll be an event, but it's going to be like labeled as a Direct or a digital event or whatever.
It'll still be live streamed, but I think it will have a theater showing alongside the demonstrations afterwards.
Yeah.
I hope so. That'd be awesome.
So,
they almost have to.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that they will.
That's been well established.
They almost have to show the NX at E3 this year, but that didn't really happen, did it?
Yeah, I don't think they'll mention. I don't think they'll announce when they're going to talk about it. But I don't expect them to talk about it for at least a few more months until probably September-ish at the earliest. And I don't think they'd announce that date. 3 months in advance?
Do you think they would announce a Direct that's going to just be like, hey, we only talked about Zelda really here, but we're going to do a Direct bringing you up to date on like other games so they could talk about, I mean, Paper Mario. What is going on with Paper Mario?
Or like
that's
what's the deal with Paper Mario?
It is. That is crazy. That's not even scheduled for the stream. Like that's
I have a theory that's getting like delayed to NX, and they're actually going to make it the game that people want because they got a lot of backlash from that, and it's not a game they really need to rush.
As long as there are no shiny stickers.
It's also not a game that they
piss me off.
It's also a game that they really don't need to nail either, right? Like they kind of can just push that thing out as shovelware because
no, I don't think they can. Did you see the backlash from that?
Yeah, but I don't think people care. I mean,
there's no really going back on that. I mean, the game is what it is, so they can't like undo that. The
amount of time.
Partners.
Go ahead, Josh.
Well, they could put like partners in the game. That's not something that would be. I think that what's the point in making a Paper Mario game that everybody hates that you're just going to crap out at the end of a dead game console? Like that's just a huge waste of money. They'd be better off delaying it and saying, all right, listen. The fans don't want this. There was a massive like backlash. What can we scrap? What can we change? Because Nintendo's done this in the past where we've seen a game and then it just vanishes and it comes back. Like
Exhibit A and Exhibit B last holiday season. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival and Mario Tennis Ultra Smash.
Yeah.
They have no problem putting minimal effort into a game and pushing it out off the shelves.
Well, but I still have a glimmer of hope in Nintendo, I guess.
Coming from you makes me very excited that you still feel hope.
I mean, I have a glimmer of hope that Color Splash may actually be decent. I think it could be. So. I think it could be, follows in the style of Sticker Star, but hopefully they learned from all those mistakes and actually made it work this time. The problem is, it's just not going to be the Paper Mario game that most people wanted. So that's,
As long as we don't have to collect 350 toads and they don't have shiny enemies that are like 5 times overpowered, I'm sure I'll be happy with it.
It looks like we do so far from the trailer, because a whole bunch of toads fall out of a house, which seems to be a joke that this company doesn't get tired of. Like, toads falling out of things. Isn't it funny? We've done it 10 times now in 3 different games.
50 or 60 are fine, but it's not 300.
Nice. Right on. So, Roger, what about you? What is your next prediction?
Sure. I have another prediction that has nothing to do with Zelda, because, like I said, I'm already bored by our discussion of it. I think, very specifically, that the thing they're going to show off during their Sun and Moon segment on Treehouse Live is a new form of either evolution or Pokemon forms called synchro forms. Because someone found in the actual website link for Pokemon Sun and Moon the tag synchro form. That hasn't really been explained yet. We have those weird diamonds on the character art of the bracelets of the main characters, and a lot of people are speculating those diamonds work very similar to the burst diamonds in the Pokemon manga, where people can transform into Pokemon and synchronize with their Pokemon. And in the anime right now, Ash has a Greninja that when the two of them are in sync with their emotions can become Ash Greninja, which is a really powerful Greninja form that looks like Ash. And I think synchro forms are going to be the new type of evolution or form change or whatever that's going to make Sun and Moon unique. And I think Mega Evolution and all that other stuff will come back, but I think synchro forms are going to be a new thing, and I think they're going to talk about it during the Treehouse Live segment.
Synchro forms, this being drift compatible in Pacific Rim?
No. So it's
exactly what it is.
You synchronize with your Pokemon, and then the Pokemon look like you a little bit, or they become more powerful. It's kind of like a new form of Mega Evolution. But I think synchro forms or synchro evolution, whatever it's going to end up being, I think we're going to get detailed in Treehouse Live. And I think Ash Greninja is the first version of whatever this new kind of form is.
He says synchro form, and what I think of is synchro summoning from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking more like Digimon. Like when you transform with your Digimon or whatever and they digivolve. I think it's going to be something like that. Where it's a temporary type of form or evolution.
Yeah. Do you think that they're going to have, is that going to be something that's limited to certain Pokemon, or is that
I think it'll be like how Mega Evolution is. I think you need the right Diamond Stone or whatever to do it. And I think it won't be every Pokemon in the game, but I do think Greninja's one of them. I'd be shocked if Pokemon like Charizard and Mewtwo didn't have that because they're popular. Probably the starters. I don't know, but I think that's going to be their big push during the Sun and Moon segment.
Hey, Roger, quick question about Pokemon, your opinion for it.
Yeah.
Do you think we're also going to see any Amiibo tie-ins for Sun and Moon?
Oh, hey, man. Into my predictions yet, dude.
Oh, did you? I don't think we're going to see it at E3, though. I think there will be, but I don't think that'll be at E3. I think that's something they might announce later in the year, and I think at most it'll be cards.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I'll just give my prediction now. I think that they are going to have... I think they will show some sort of Amiibo functionality, but again, I think it will be this year's equivalent of Animal Crossing cards. I mean, if they may even... maybe not. It would be interesting to see the Pokemon TCG and Pokemon Amiibo cards be out at the same time. I don't think that they would do them in the same packaging, though. I think that's a bridge too far. They don't want to... I don't know. I just can't see them doing that. But it's possible. But I think for the most part, yeah, we're going to see some sort of Pokemon Amiibo functionality within Sun and Moon. So that's my prediction there. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're going to reveal that or not. They may tease it, right? They may what they may do is tease... with some of the Smash Brothers Amiibo or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, they do need a replacement for the Smash Brothers line now, right? They're pretty much burned all the way through that. They need another massive amount of Amiibo to get out there. And
And the Animal Crossing amiibo went over like a lead balloon. Like, I don't think those were successful at all.
Didn't you try selling those, Josh?
I couldn't sell Animal Crossing on amiibo on eBay for $2 each. I just want to point that out.
Wow.
The shipping's more expensive than what you were getting for the amiibo.
Yes, yeah. So what I'm doing instead is I'm going to just burn them with fireworks for a video.
Nice. Very nice. Cool. Jesse, what about you, man? What is your next prediction?
Okay, let me go through my list. All right. I'm going to say, see, this one's kind of gloomy, but said mobile games, including the already announced Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing, will not get any mention. It'll be focused on Wii U, 3DS, and Zelda.
Is that it, excluding Pokemon Go? Obviously, because they have announced that.
They already announced that they're going to talk about Go?
Yeah, they're starting day 2 with that.
Well, that's our prediction's already blocked down. Yeah. I wrote these last night before that press release came out.
There you go.
So, wow. Yeah.
There you go.
A lot of these are crap. Right.
But as far as like Animal Crossing or Fire Emblem, I think that's also kind of what you're saying is we're not going to get a whole lot there, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And they've said that before. They've said, or I think it was Reggie that said, you know what, this is not the place to be talking about mobile games. People don't come to E3 to talk about the new iPhone Animal Crossing game. They want to talk about the new Zelda, right? Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right on. Justin, what about you, man? What is your next prediction?
I think Nintendo's got to find a way to make us forget that they have nothing to give us on the Wii U for 9 months. So what they're going to do is they're going to try and bring us back to our favorite Wii U games that we've played through DLC packages. So they're going to roll out, I think, more of a paid DLC package specifically for Splatoon. I think we'll see some more Mario Maker pushes, and here's some new features that we're adding, and possibly some DLC for Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, didn't we see that? Wasn't there some sort of a tweet or something that was
Nintendo of Europe kind
good
of
thing comes
something.
to those who wait or whatever, and
I think to combine that, what they'll be doing is they'll also be doing like a massive blowout sale on their digital like eShop stuff over the next 9 months to make us buy those games that we never bought before to basically pad out our library while we patiently wait for 9 months.
So are you talking like an expansion of the Nintendo Selects line or something like that?
Yeah, I think expansion of that. I think we'll see more games on discount, right? I think we'll see more like, it's 30% off, Chrono Cross, or sorry,
Chrono Trigger,
Xenoblade, all those things, right? Like those games that like, here you go.
Xenoblade. Okay.
Yeah, we're just trying to blow it out as much as we can.
Yeah, I think kind of piggybacking off of that, my prediction, if this Mario Kart 8 DLC thing happens, my prediction is it's battle mode. At which, Josh, you showed off some awesome concept stuff, right? There
was this really cool leaked battle map or something.
Yeah,
I think that you might be right about this DLC for Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be really cool if they did actually put in battle mode, though.
Yeah, I'd have a reason to actually play Mario Kart 8 again, other than beating Andre randomly at night.
That would be the greatest possible thing they could. Because I don't want another pack of 4 maps and 3 characters and all that. Like that would be cool, but nowhere near as exciting as a battle mode.
But the Mario Kart team's already moved on to working on the next Mario Kart for NX.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We won't get battle mode or proper battle mode until the next Mario Kart, especially because there'll be pent up demand for it then.
Mm-hmm. And Mario Kart generally releases every 4 years, and the last one was when?
I think only 2 years ago, right? 2013.
Yeah, it was Splatoon. It was Splatoon last year and Mario Kart the year before that.
That's right. Yeah.
It's every 3 or 4 years that a Mario Kart comes out, and it's been like that for a long time. So I can't see them breaking that up and launching the NX and having a Mario Kart game to preview and be like, it's coming out launch window. That's probably what their efforts are going to be towards as far as the Mario Kart team goes. So I don't think there's any DLC. I think the tweet that Nintendo of Europe put out was just referring to the fact that if you wait for the train to go by, you won't get hit. Therefore, good things have come to you. Why they tagged Mario Kart 8 with that, I don't know. They could just be stupid.
Yeah, I think it was like a weird social oversight where like they just wanted to get the word out about Mario Kart 8 and use like an old Mario Kart thing for it. I completely agree with you that people looked way too much into that tweet. Like it just seemed like a really basic. Like this is coming from someone who does social for a motion picture company. A lot of the time, you have to tag certain things with whatever the most recent thing is, and not necessarily the thing that's most relevant. A good example of this would be, and I don't know who maybe wrote this tweet, but if you had a tweet about the old Alice in Wonderland movies, but you had to tag that tweet through the Looking Glass because that's the new Alice in Wonderland movie that came out. I'm just saying that's an example.
So I agree with you that it probably is nothing, but just to play devil's advocate here, there were tweets not too long before that one where they did just take Mario Kart instead of MK8 specifically. So, and some people are looking a little bit, looking even deeper into this, and they're wondering, because they showed off the Calamari desert track specifically for Mario Kart 64, whether that's hinting at Splatoon DLC because of Calamar or Cali and Mari or Marie or whatever.
Splatoon character.
Exactly.
Is that your final prediction, Andre? That's your third prediction?
I'm throwing it out there as
he's just adding to mine.
Yeah.
I want to say something. People who believe that are literally insane. Calamari, Splatoon. Oh, and Splatoon has Inc. Mario Sunshine 2. This screenshot just confirmed Mario Sunshine 2. Like that's really going deep into the rabbit hole there.
That's
like with the strings.
Information.
Very cool. Nice. Right on. Awesome. Okay, so we could go around one more time. How is everybody feeling? Does everybody have one more in them?
I do have one final prediction.
Yeah.
One more. Quick one.
Let's go for it.
I'm predicting that we won't get a release date for Zelda.
Well, wait a minute. A specific one or like the month? Like what? You got to be more specific with that.
I mean, we already have one for. We already know it's coming out next year, so I don't think we'll get anything more specific than that.
So we know March, right?
No, we don't know March. We know the NX is coming out in March supposedly. They didn't say the same for Zelda.
I think they originally said March 2017 on their website, and then like a week later they changed it to only say 2017.
That's correct. So all the official statements were only ever 2017. The press site did briefly mention March, but then they changed that to just be 2017 again. So that may have just been a mistake.
Can you imagine if the NX releases and Zelda is not released on that day? Imagine that as a possible future.
I think it's possible. They could hold on to it until that Christmas season and maybe launch with something else, like Mario, for instance. It'd be nuts. It would be crazy, but
November.
At this point, who knows with Nintendo?
Oh, I love it. I love that the sweet pessimism that you bring. I love it.
Andre is such a negative person. I want to apologize on behalf. Have you seen his Twitter? He's a monster. The things he says about Nintendo.
That dark Andre account.
Yeah, dark Andre account is deadly.
Oh, man. I
get offended on a daily basis by the things this guy says on Twitter.
Oh man,
it's ridiculous.
Oh no.
So you don't think it's going to come out March? You don't think it's going to launch when the NX launches?
I'm not. Well, I'm not even convinced NX is going to launch in March either. Even though Nintendo said that, I would not be surprised if that gets pushed to later in the year. They delayed it
to add VR. Obviously, that's the latest rumor.
Well, the rumor was that they delayed it to March because of VR.
Oh, okay.
Not that they delayed it beyond that, but I with Nintendo, I have no clue. I know it's coming out sometime next year, but I wouldn't be surprised if neither Zelda nor the NX launch in March.
And you're saying no date for Zelda at E3, huh?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, no date for Zelda at E3. So if that is in fact an NX launch title, they would announce it when they talk about the NX. Beyond that, and that's also why I don't think we'll get a release date. They'll want to blow that out when they actually talk about the NX. So even if it is a launch title,
this isn't an NX launch title. Like, there's no way they've got this massive game they've sunk so much time and so much money into, and then they're going to be like, "Oh, it'll come out later for the NX." Like,
people were also saying there's no way it wasn't going to come out to the Wii U like last year because they couldn't, and they did. So
yeah, that's what people were saying for the 2015 release of Wii U. The Wii version, right? There's no way that they can delay that, and they delayed that, and they delayed Star Fox, and they replaced it with shovelware.
Do you remember when they literally said it was coming out before? Didn't they say it was coming out before Star Fox? Or forget the exact statement.
No, Star Fox was coming out before before. Yeah. Which I mean,
I don't think they'll do this stuff.
True. Yeah.
I don't think they'll do that, though. I think this game is too big. I think that they are very afraid of having a repeat of what happened with the Wii U, and I think that they know this is a huge game, and I think they know how exciting it is to launch a new console with a brand new, exciting Legend of Zelda game. So I don't think they're going to be like, oh, well, we don't have it ready yet, so it's going to come out later. And so, I mean, this game is the longest developed Zelda game that I think I remember in like recent history. It's been delayed more than any Zelda game. So I think this has got to be ready to come out of the oven before it just gets burnt and nobody cares anymore to eat it.
Yeah.
How's that for an analogy? A delicious analogy from Josh Thomas.
Oh, man.
Hey, Zelda muffins.
All right. Speaking of Zelda muffins, I don't know. Josh, what is your final prediction?
The first two were just I don't even believe my own predictions. Well, I said this to Andre over Facebook. I am going to predict Andre. I'm going to predict Miyamoto will forget to bring his pants to E3. I typed that privately to Andre about 10 minutes ago, and I'll just use that for my final prediction. I'll throw another one. Prediction: Reggie will eat cake again, even though the Cake Boss people won't be at E3 again this year. Reggie
that was so admittedly, Josh. That was awesome. Being on the top floor. This is a true story. I think I talked about this on an old episode of Nintendo Dads, but last year, me and Josh spent the entire last day of E3 up at the top floor of like the private media booth, and we straight up ate cake that was delivered to us by Nintendo employees as we played Federation Force privately with other Nintendo employees who begged us to tweet about it. Meanwhile, you see Reggie come out of one of the meeting rooms and he's patting his belly
from eating cake.
I swear to God, this is a thing that actually happened. It was amazing, and it is my favorite E3 experience I think of every year I've ever gone.
Yeah, so I'm going to predict that Reggie will find cake again and pat his belly at this year's E3.
Actually, like Nintendo Direct where he ate cake or something.
I don't know.
Like, no, it was Bill.
It was a Yokai Watch thing.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, what Yokai Watch thing.
The gluttony one.
I like it.
Funny.
Right on. I think that's a perfectly reasonable prediction.
That's going to be the only prediction that comes true. The ones that I just gave there. Miyamoto forgets his pants.
I don't know. Josh, my next prediction and my final Nintendo prediction, I think, is probably the safest bet of any of the predictions any of us have made. My final Nintendo prediction is that Nintendo is going to drop some dank memes on us. Us live event. And tweet out a bunch of things that will go viral because of how strange and bizarre they are. I think, without question, we could expect at least one or two more tweets in the vein of the RT for Slippy, Fave for Dat Boy tweets that went out a couple weeks ago. I think they are going to lay it down hard with the memes, both during Treehouse Live and in their social media coverage. That is my last Nintendo prediction. There are going to be a ton of like memes that come out of this, and memes that they refer to during this year's event.
Well, that's not a fair prediction because I'm pretty sure they sent out a press release saying we're going to be bringing a lot of memes to E3 this year. Zelda and dank memes and Mitomo wigs. That's what the press said. That's what they're...
The chat, even people in the chat right now that's live on YouTube, people are going, here comes that boy!
So yeah, that's a pretty good prediction.
I think they're going to bring the memes this year.
Yeah. Right on. Jesse, what is your final prediction, good sir?
Okay. I said the Zelda demo will be made available at select Best Buys, similar to what they've done for the past 3 years. Only Zelda, and only one lonely kiosk per store, generating a 4-hour-long line like Smash did 2 years ago. So,
do you think, wouldn't they have announced that by now?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's something you got to announce before 5 days before it, happens.
Yeah. Again, I wrote these yesterday, so I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, there were 6 days then.
Down the line, though, they did have maybe as it gets closer, they have some other events or whatever kind of going around. That would be cool if they did that, though. I like that idea. I think that they would be smart. Maybe this is the fact that they haven't announced it. Maybe is more of a hint of the possibility of a home demo that we kind of talked about earlier. And
then I did add in my copy of the notes, I'd like for there to be a home version of the demo, but I'm not holding my breath.
That'd be epic. Yeah, I mean that'd be awesome. But I think the fact that they announced it's coming to the Nintendo World Store confirms there won't be a home demo anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think they're going to do that Best Buy stuff again when NX is when they're later this fall when they fully unveil the NX. I think they'll use Best Buy locations to let the public get their hands on. I think that's when we'll see that partnership pop up again.
See, at least at that point, maybe they can set up a long-term demo. But these E3 kiosks are normally up for 3.5 hours a day, Wednesday and Saturday, and after that they're gone. So if you're not in line 3 hours before it starts, you're probably not going to play it.
Yeah, for sure. Right on. So, Justin, what is your final prediction, sir?
My final prediction is that the set for the live streaming is going to kind of be set up has a kind of a Mr. Rogers in the neighborhood feel, and they're going to have a door, and randomly there's going to be like a knock on the door, walk over, and oh, look who's here! It's Bill Trennan or someone else, and then in one of those like walk by, drop by visits, they're going to reveal Detective Pikachu coming to North America.
Oh, that's a good prediction. That's a good one.
That is
and actually, I'll add Box Boy 2 in there because the localization shouldn't be localization. It's Box Boy. You know, it should just be here by now.
So Rhythm Heaven is supposed to come out too, by the way. Where's that?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Sorry, I cut you off, Andre.
I'm used to it, so...
I'm not sorry now. You know what? I take back the sorry, and I'm just going to point out I cut you off.
Yep. So I love the idea of the door. Like I could totally see something like that happening. In fact, I really hope they step up their presentation this year. Like I didn't mind Treehouse Live in the past because it was like a more casual take on E3, but that was only because they had a proper digital event beforehand. Because now the focus is purely on Treehouse Live, I really hope they step up the production value of that and, you know, just make it more impressive. Maybe a little bit more structure than it normally is. I totally forgot the other point I was going to make about that. What was the other thing you said beyond the tree? Announcements. I don't think they're going to make any other announcements on this beyond what we already know. I don't think they'll be announcing like Mother 3. I don't think they'll be talking about any other eShop games like Box Boy. Simply because I don't think, even though Treehouse Live gets good numbers in aggregate, like in total, I don't think there's ever like a huge amount of people watching at any single time, maybe beyond the very start of it in this case. Mm-hmm. So I think they would say those events are proper, or those announcements are a proper digital event or Nintendo Direct. In which case I expect one, you know, for the fall, like a couple months later. So yeah. I don't think we're going to get any major surprise announcements.
I think if they do something like that, they'll do it within the first hour or two.
Yeah, it would have to be.
You know, like because I am going to be available to watch like the initial stuff, but after that, you know, like I'm not going to sit for 2 days and watch this. I don't know. I'll have to look at what else I've got going on, but but I think that is, you know, like starting off the entire stream with something that's like, oh, by the way, before we get started, here's this, and then, you know, and Mother 3, and then okay, let's get going. You know, something like that. I think would be. It's got to be soon because they can't just drop it in the middle of everything. Mm-hmm. So, right on. So I had another one, and I forgot to write it down, and it's gone. So I'm going to say as well, I did have another one, actually. Basically just that we are going to hear the announcement of some of the previously announced Amiibo. We may see a look at the physical prototypes. We may see release dates. And so that could, like, I'm thinking of Callie and Marie, which already has a release date. I'm thinking of the remaining Smash Brothers characters like Corrin, Bayonetta, Cloud, stuff like that. We're going to have some sort of Amiibo announcement just thrown in there.
Well, to piggyback off of that,
I hope they have the Bayonetta statue there at E3. That'd be really cool. I'd love to see what that Amiibo looks like.
Yeah, just like a glass case in the booth, right?
Yeah. Oh, I hope that's the case now. I really hope that's the case.
Mm-hmm. What were you going to say, Andre?
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get announcements of about new Amiibo or previously announced Amiibo, except for maybe Wolflink. I think we'll finally find out what it's going to do in Zelda Wii U.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I think everyone has.
Mainly because I never did get a chance to play Twilight Princess. I bought it at launch, got the Amiibo. I played it maybe 20 minutes, and then, this isn't as exciting as I remembered. That night, I had played the game last year, so it's like I wasn't quite ready mentally to play that game again.
You know what's funny? I'm afraid of playing games now because I want to I don't know they're going to announce like an HD remake. So I don't want to play Mario Galaxy in case they announce like the compilation pack 2 days later or something. I'm afraid you're screwing me up.
Roger, remember last time you were on, I mentioned Final Fantasy 12, and
and then now look at this. We have the
boom. So now I don't want to play it anymore. I'll wait for the HD remake to come out.
Yeah, get it next year. Yeah.
Well, listen, if the HD remake is of poor quality, like Twilight Princess HD, you're better off just playing the original one, Andre. So, just play the originals. The HD remake probably won't be that good.
Wow.
Why you gotta be such a hater, Josh?
Because that's a crappy, cheap, quick little remake that should have been way better than it is.
Yeah,
Speaking
that's
of
true.
haters, I have one other quick little segue thing that I wanted to bring up during my dank meme prediction. I think because they just are adding characters as Mario Maker costumes that don't make any sense. I want to see Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton added as Mario Maker characters. That's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to get an election special with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump added as Mario Maker characters.
Oh my god, that would be the worst Miiverse comments of all time if that happened.
I think a Roger and a Josh Amiibo costume would be more likely.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge. High energy. High energy.
It's going to be huge.
Man, we got Eddie Murphy and Donald Trump on this? Dang.
Oh,
This is a star-studded event.
Nice. Right on. Let's head into. We've got lots of.
Before we moved on, I wanted to go through my original two predictions that I had wrote down back in April. So before I knew everything was going to be turned upside down. So I said NX will run on Intel x86 architecture similar to PS4 or Xbox One, and then Emily Rogers kind of shot that down in Twitter a while ago.
Emily Rogers.
Nintendo will announce Virtual Boy 2. That was kind of a joke prediction, and then now we have these new rumors. So I'm like, oh no, what did I do?
Nice.
I want Nintendo VR. Give me Nintendo VR instead of Nintendo NX.
They're only a few letters away.
Yeah, I don't know. Right on. All right, let's head into our listener mail stuff. We've got lots of comments and predictions from listeners as well, so let's head into it. Right on.
Now we heard that bumper.
Yeah, I worked some magic.
Nice.
I want that to play whenever I'm announced as a guest on this podcast, please.
All right, do you got it queued up there, Zach? Do you got it ready?
Yeah, I can.
And ladies and gentlemen, Josh Thomas.
Oh, hang on. Oh, I thought you meant the emails. Hang on.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the same time, Mr. Josh Thomas.
Right on. Okay.
Pablo in the chat says for a Splatfest, you should have Trump versus Hillary.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a good Splatfest.
No, I think next Splatfest, I think, is just Roger versus Josh.
That'd be amazing. Josh would be Callie, I'd be Marie, man. I'd be down.
Okay. Yeah. Right on. All right, so let's get to this first email. I'm going to read this from Adam. It says, curious as to what your analysis is of the current state of Amiibo thing. Actually, you know what? Hang on. Right. Yeah, let's read this. We'll do it. Things have been awfully quiet in regards to announcements of future Amiibo releases, aside from the new Splatoon sets that are inbound. Do you think that this is build up of a potential announcement alongside the NX unveiling, perhaps when they explain how Amiibo will work with the next gen console? Or do you think we're seeing a slide off of the brand as Toys to Life starting to wither on the vine? In that regard, do you think it would be wise of Nintendo to continue with Amiibo in the midst of the toy trend cooling off? If they continue the Amiibo brand into the future, that may be construed as Nintendo still being a step behind in a time when they need to be forward thinking. Thanks, guys, and keep up the great work, Adam. So I'm going to just really quickly, I'm going to say, how is Amiibo going to work with the NX? Exactly the same as it works with the Wii U and the 3DS.
Yep.
There's not going to be anything else. Like they've already figured that out. I don't imagine. The only thing I can imagine that would be different is if there is some sort of, I don't know, like an augmented reality. Maybe I can see maybe doing that, but that's the only thing that I can think of that would be any different. So
the one thing I've always really wanted with Amiibos, where even if they were like premium Amiibos that were like $30 or $40, I kind of want like game purchases tied to Amiibos. What I mean by that is like I'd love it if you can go to a store and buy like an exclusive Samus amiibo, and then when you tap it to your system, it unlocks like a full version of the original Metroid that you could play, or something like that. Like $30 would be a little too much for that, because obviously Metroid you can get for like $5 on Virtual Console. But something to that extent, I think, would be like really cool if they tied game releases into amiibos, where the amiibo almost acted like the physical thing. Like instead of buying a disc, you're buying a toy.
They kind of already do that with Amiibo Tap.
With Amiibo Tap, yeah, it's in a kind of like that.
Like it was unlocking demos and stuff. Like I would want it to be like a full game. Like you would know when you walk into the store, if you're buying that Shulk amiibo, that when you tap it, you unlock the full game of like the original Xenoblade or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
They'd have to. Yeah, you're right. That would be a very expensive amiibo because they'd have to have like some sort of large
but it'd be
game
like
on that.
Yeah,
I don't know if you could transfer games through the NFC technology like that, though.
I don't see why not. If it works like a download, and
you wouldn't have to be the whole game on the amiibo, but at least an unlock code.
Or an unlock code. Yeah.
Again, similar to what Amiibo Tap does, you could have a Virtual Console game or a Virtual Console app on your Wii U or NX or whatever, and you can only access the games, which all of the games are on the software themselves, but then you have to have the Amiibo to unlock the software in order to play it.
Yeah.
I can see that. That'd be cool.
I think all of us at one point, like probably a year or two ago, fantasized about this great Nintendo game that was like Skylanders or something that like actually uses your amiibo, like it requires them, and it's this big adventure where you use your amiibo and all this. I think I've given up hope on that game, and I don't think it's ever coming. And really? I think this whole Toys to Life thing is dying. I mean, we saw Disney Infinity, unfortunately, is gone, and the sales for all the other things are not as hot as they once were, like Skylanders.
I will say this though about the Disney situation, and I got to be careful with what I say, but with the Disney Infinity situation, that was more of a. That was less, how do I word this? It was less a Toys to Life decision, and like in terms of sales, because Disney Infinity was successful. It was that it wasn't as successful as other ventures that Disney has their hands in, and there's a very there's a thing that Disney does where if something's not making enough money or it's not as big of a success as they think it should be, they just go, okay, well we're just gonna cut this out now, because Disney Infinity was successful. It wasn't like Disney Infinity wasn't successful. And Disney Infinity was far more successful than Skylanders for a while. So I don't think it was necessarily that it was the Toys to Life thing failing. I think it was more so that Disney corporate said, we don't really want, this Disney Infinity thing anymore. If we're making all this money on these phone games, why do we even have this? Let's not even bother with it. And they're cutting their losses.
Yeah, I think, just to kind of back up what you're saying, Roger, I remember last year when Age of Ultron came out, and it had broken all sorts of records and things like that. And then we get sort of this news coming out that basically Disney considered it a failure, right? And that it did not meet Disney's expectations. And I wonder if part of that, too, is the expectations where it's not just the financial decision either. Is this meeting the hype level that we want? Is this bringing enough goodwill to the company and things like that? Whereas there was a following of people who liked Disney Infinity, but the general consensus was that this was devaluing the Disney brand, right? Where it was devaluing Star Wars, it was devaluing Marvel, and the last thing they want is to have those brands being devalued. And I think, again, going back to Age of Ultron, that was something that happened as well, was overall it devalued the name of the Avengers to have a crappy Avengers sequel. And so that's, I think, one of the big things going into or with Disney Infinity was, well, we could try and revive this thing, or we just cut our losses, say we had a good run, and let's move on to something new. So,
well, I think another thing was Disney wanted to kind of get out of the video game industry. They didn't think it was logical to have Disney Interactive anymore when they could just partner with third parties. And Disney Infinity was very much tied to Disney Interactive and all the employees there. So I think the decision to say no more Disney Interactive also meant no more Disney Infinity. But I still do think we are definitely there. It's not going to get better for Toys to Life. We've seen the height of Toys to Life when it comes to all these buying toys to do stuff in games. So I don't know if Nintendo's really going to push very hard with Amiibo beyond what they've already done.
That's a genius of Amiibo. They're not even.
They've never pushed hard at all. Yeah, that's true.
I think for sure. if they made like a Skylanders-esque adventure game with Amiibo, I think that would do really well. It's just a matter of them actually taking the risk when, like you said, you look at the rest of Toys to Life games, and it's sort of like Toys to Life as a genre is kind of already peaked. But to sort of be like the devil's advocate for that, they just announced the new Skylanders yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was. It's called like Skylanders Transformations or something, and like they're going all in with this new Skylanders game. And the last Skylanders I thought was great. Superchargers really surprised me, and I had a lot of fun with it.
That was announced last week. We talked about it on our last show.
Yeah. There you go.
For sure.
I actually agree with Roger here. I think if Nintendo did it right, I think it could be huge. I mean, we haven't seen anything like that from Nintendo, and if they made like the Smash Brothers of Amiibo, it could be something really special. Especially if they go beyond like even Skylanders treats them as just a character swap. But I think Nintendo could go even further and like have full worlds tied to these figures and just go all out on this.
But would Nintendo design an entire world around one Amiibo purchase?
Not one, but they can make it based around like a series of Amiibo.
Yeah.
I mean, I want it to happen. I just don't know if Nintendo cares enough to do
it was
anything.
Like the idea back, whatever the leaks were, there was like Project N Stars or something like that, right? Like I'm still like, please let that be true, but at the same time,
I'm kind of feeling that N Stars would be that game. That's always what I thought after hearing that name, because if you remember the original pitch for Wonderful 101, what that Kamiya made was that he wanted it to be 101 Nintendo characters. Yeah. And they eventually went against it, and they said, let's make them unique characters, which I personally think I would have liked Wonderful 101 a lot more if they were Nintendo characters.
I was just thinking about this when you were saying that, and in my mind I was like, oh man, 101 Nintendo characters? That'd be awesome. I would have liked it way more.
And 101 Amiibo to scan, so you have...
Yes! Exactly. It would make a lot of money.
I got rid of most of my Amiibo.
Right? Which ones they develop, which ones they manufacture, but I don't know. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
I think Amiibo sales are down though. Every store I go in has like the same Amiibo just sitting there. There's like 20 Jigglypuffs at my Target. There's like tons of the Shovel Knight, and it's like the same ones every time I'm in there. Same with like in Schaumburg. There's a Toys R Us in Schaumburg, which is like one of the most populated Amiibo stores, and they've just got like so many of the same ones just constantly sitting there. So I don't know if
the Toys R Us in Glendale has literally a wall of Shulks. I think is unbelievable. Because if you would have said that 6 months ago, people have been like, a wall of Shulks? Wow, where? But no, it has literally a full wall of them. So
yeah, part of me wonders, like, are Amiibo this like generation's Beanie Baby, and it's kind of peaked for it now, and Nintendo needs to like be really smart and try to find a way to get us to buy those again. So a game that requires them, I think, like a Nintendo Land style sequel would be neat, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
I mean, part of the problem is like launching a Smash with both. I think might have been both the best and worst thing they could have done. The best would be to start off Amiibo with a bang. The problem is once you have them all, like what other characters are left? They've already covered most of their main characters. And that's why we
don't have a Tingle Amiibo yet. When that happens, I'll be sure to buy that.
Tingle.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
Right on.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, let's head into our next email. This is my name. This is from Derek. It says, my name is Derek, and I'm a father of a 9-year-old boy. I'm not much of a gamer, and I've scoured the internets looking for advice. Your podcast, Justin, is this that deep one you were talking about? Is Justin here? Oh, he disappeared. All right. Your podcast seems to be a good place for the advice I need. My wife and I told our son that if he can bring home a report card with straight A's, that we would get him an Xbox. He succeeded and bought him the Xbox and a few games for Christmas. However, lately he's been crying, saying that people are being mean to him online, and that he was even upset about for a week after he got it because someone had spoiled Star Wars for him. Just recently, I walked in and all I heard was expletives. My son hasn't picked up any of the bad language because he's always says that they're mean words. He's been responsible and behaved, and I don't have any issues with the games he's playing. Is there something I can do to control other people involved in his games? He claims some of them can only be played with other people. Is there truth to this? I just don't think he's done anything to merit having the system taken away, and I don't want to penalize him for being mature and responsible. What should I do, Derek?
Well, you don't say what games you bought, but yes, some games are online only.
Okay, dude. Here's my question. I don't have an Xbox.
Like,
Turn on parental controls, and that just pretty much mutes all of the microphone.
Yeah. I
is
thought that,
voice chat required in any of those games? I know online is, but is voice?
Wait,
Yeah.
Destiny, is that the one I'm thinking of? Is that pretty much online only?
Yeah, but like even something like Overwatch, like everyone's playing Overwatch right now, and you could definitely turn off all voices through parental controls. That's not even like,
Yeah. So there's definitely a lot of ways that you can mute the idiots that play games so your son doesn't hear them.
Yeah.
Parental controls. Look into the parental controls.
I mean, to his credit, I think, even for your son, I think the fact that he's coming to you as like, wow, this is really upsetting. Like, I think, first of all, I just want to say that is really, I think that's worth pointing out and commending in itself, is the fact that you're able to have that sort of relationship with your son, that he's coming to you and saying, Dad, this person online said this terrible thing to me. I think that's something that we don't talk enough about, is having parents be responsible in having these, online connections with other people, is that it's a really difficult thing to know, okay, how do I use the parental controls? What do I do? What are all the different things here? I think it's really important that you do that. But given what you've said, I think that you're actually on the right track already. I would, honestly, I would, I don't know what Microsoft's customer support is like, but I wonder if you were to go to them and say, what are the, even if you were to look online on some of their support stuff, are there, guides that you can have for parental controls and things like that? I wonder if there's an account, if you can set up an account for your son that, you say, this is a child's account. This is what I want him to use. I don't want him to be doing voice chat online. I don't, stuff like that. Or I want to be able to approve the people that he is voice chatting with. Maybe he can voice chat with friends, but not with strangers. I don't know what sort of parental controls are available there. But yeah, I think honestly, the big thing is having that be something that he is involved with too, right? And looking out for him and saying, you know what, we're gonna just not have the crazy people talking to you while you're playing.
Yeah, and I think to the point that Jesse was kind of making earlier as well is just kind of, when they're going to the store to pick out games, maybe having that conversation with them and saying, like, is this only online? Or is there a single player campaign that can work as well, especially if the other friends don't have Xboxes, for example. But I would definitely agree. I'm on Xbox's site right now, just kind of looking at some parental control stuff. They don't have a lot of really great information for an overview, but I definitely think that there should be information out there for you as a parent to own some of those settings and to be able to assist them in that. But again, kudos for raising the issue, and kudos for saying, we understand this is bad behavior. We don't want to punish our son, but we want to find a way for the system to work around it, right? That's one of the things that, as we as older gamers shake our fist at for Nintendo for not allowing us to have some of those features. But one of the reasons we enjoy Nintendo as a parent is as though they don't have those features, right? So that my children don't have that same experience as well. But again, kudos for you, Derek, to bring that up as a parent and proactively try and find ways to solve it. Hopefully this has helped you in some way, and please do follow back up with us and let us know how it's going. We'd love to hear.
Yeah, there's a great comment in the chat as well. Quag through on one side. You've probably seen the YouTube ad today about 94% of kids going to the internet for questions instead of approaching their dads for information. So again, kudos, and keep that line of communication open. I think that is something super valuable. That with all sorts of stuff. But and you know what? Honestly, as well, just like sit down with him. I guess maybe that's the other thing, is like sit down and play some games with him and just like be interested in it. As well, and just kind of become involved, be as involved as you can in the whole process. I think that's really good too. So, right on. Justin, do you want to read this next one from Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me just 1 second here. All right. Chris writes. Chris, who writes in quite frequently. My question today is about Pokemon Bank. I have decided to utilize Pokemon Bank to house a couple living national Pokédex. So all I have to do is drag and drop into a game for complex decks, and I just have to add new ones in the future gens. Do you guys think utilizing Pokemon Banks? If so, how do you use it?
Okay, yeah. So I actually don't think right now that I use Pokemon Bank. I still have a subscription to it because it's like a yearly subscription. I mostly keep it active for the promotional ones every once in a while and to transfer Pokemon between games. But other than that, I don't really use it that much. But yeah. So I'm just laughing at this conversation we're having over Skype at the same time. Yeah, right on. So yeah, Roger, do you use that as well?
Pokemon Bank?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I see no interest in having a subscription to it until Sun and Moon comes out. Because once Sun and Moon comes out, you're going to want to transfer like the Pokemon Yellow, Red, and Blue characters that you were playing on Virtual Console to the new game. However, because there's really not a lot else to talk about on this topic, I feel like it would be remiss if I did not bring up the conversation we are having right now on Skype, where while we were recording this episode, Peter Pan figure that was a concept that would have been released had Disney Infinity not been canceled, just on Twitter. And this is the official what the concept would have been of a Peter Pan figure. Josh is freaking out over it. I am
spamming the heck out of this chat.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I want it!
All right, I'll read our next question from, and thank you, Chris, for saying that. And next question is from Matt Gibson from the N podcast system. He said, much like how last year we got a surprise announcement for Earthbound Beginnings finally coming, what surprise announcements would you guys like to see the Treehouse streams, and which ones wouldn't you like? I'd love to see Detective Pikachu brought over, a new Splatoon DLC. Plus, by the way, Josh and Andre, you are welcome to join our podcast at any time as well. And again, that's from the N podcast system from Matt Gibson. Guys, we kind of talked about some of the surprises. Obviously, Mother 3 was mentioned, Detective Pikachu. Any other ones that you guys wanted to see that were not announced or that we talked about?
Detective Pikachu is my number one. I think I want Detective Pikachu more than anything else, and I want Detective Pikachu voiced by Danny DeVito. Like, if we don't actually get that, we're going to have a problem.
That's where our actual time and energy should be. Like, don't worry about our political system. Just get Danny DeVito to do, Pikachu.
That'd be amazing.
That's where our energy has to be spent.
Picross 3D 2.
Oh yeah, I want Picross 2 actually. That's true. Actually, you know what I want? I want them to localize the new One Piece game that's coming out for 3DS. That's what I want them to do, but I don't think they're going to do that. And I think Namco will actually take care of that too, because Burning Blood seems like it's selling pretty well.
Well, the problem with the localizing games like that is, if the storylines, in Japan are so much further than the storylines of what's known in North America, they don't want the games talking about stuff that hasn't happened yet.
True.
Naruto's had that same problem.
Yeah, most big manga series, though, now are simulpubbed, which means that they get released the same day they officially get released in Japan. So I know like the really big series like One Piece and Bleach and Boku no Hero and all that stuff, that gets released day and date here. Same time it does in Japan. Only difference is that it's an English translation. So, yeah.
Nice. We sent out an earlier call for some Twitter predictions. I'm going to quickly run through that and guys kind of give you your commentary, what you think of this.
I've got some music for you here.
Okay, this perfect. All right. Joe mentions for his predictions an actual Animal Crossing game for Wii U appears with Amiibo support. An NX port promised. Also, NX is delayed till November. Hey, a resident Animal Crossing fan, Josh.
Yes.
Wii U, Animal Crossing. Any hope?
There's no hope for that. No. I'd say there's no hope.
Okay.
I agree.
But would it be nice? Yes.
Oh, it would be gorgeous. Yeah.
It'd be awesome. Yeah.
Josh, kind of into that, what do you think of the whole mobile strategy for Animal Crossing?
I really have no interest in playing Animal Crossing on my phone.
Okay, that's fair. I respect that.
Agreed.
Paul Lloyd says, I'm convinced that Zelda Wii U will be Zelda Maker. It's the only way I can see them showing off so much of it.
Oh my god, I want that so bad.
Yeah, would that not be the best?
If you're ever going to get a Zelda Maker, though, I want like a 2D Zelda Maker. I don't want like
same here.
3D overworld voice-acted Zelda Maker. No, I want like classic Link to the Past skin Zelda Maker.
I take it back. I would definitely want a 3D Zelda Maker, but there's no way we're getting that, so I'm content with a 2D Zelda Maker.
Can you imagine if they, like how you could go from like the Super Mario Brothers 3 to like new Super Mario Brothers or whatever. In the Zelda Maker, it literally just converts a 2D Zelda level into a 3D Zelda level.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
It's just like, oh yeah, just flip the switch and all of a sudden it's 3D.
Zelda 2 Maker.
Yeah. Right on.
All right. Benjamin says Zelda Amiibo Skyward Sword HD and all Virtual Console Zeldas half price off in the eShop sale, and a limited edition Zelda Wii U. Wow.
Actually, didn't Skyward Sword just get thrown on Virtual Console recently? Or
no.
wasn't that ESRB?
Not in North America.
Not in North America. Well, where is it then?
I think I've seen it. Was it? I don't know. Was it somewhere else? I don't know. I'd have to check.
Because I have and got Skyward Sword added to Wii Virtual Console.
Ooh, because I have not played that and I really want to.
Yeah. I think that'll be coming for sure. I don't know if that'd be announced at E3 though, but I'm sure that's probably still coming. They're going to add that to Virtual Console. So
yeah, I also
an exclusive.
Go ahead, Josh.
I was just going to say an exclusive Wii U for the Zelda coming out. I don't think they're going to do that because I don't think they want to try to sell the Wii U anymore.
Yeah, they've got all those other ones just sitting around. Just take them out of the box and paint them pretty and put them back in the box.
Yeah.
I do agree though with the half price Virtual Console Zelda sale. Basically, we saw some kind of hints of that a couple months ago, and they had a banner of the summer of Zelda. Yeah. Alex says the last of the Smash Amiibo will be announced and shown. Release dates will be in August or September for Bayonetta. Makes sense. I think definitely they're going to show it. They have to, but I think everyone's right that they've been very quiet about Amiibo, so we figure out what the next thing is. Brian says as part of this Summer of Zelda, Skyward Sword comes to Virtual Console. Yep, I agree with that, Brian. Justin Masterclaw says the new Zelda game will be playable. Lots of fanboys will whine. Yeah, that's fair. Yep, lots of whining.
I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah. Colin Harris, an exclusive demo for My Nintendo members, a Super Nintendo remix, more Mario Maker DLC, and Link is still a boy.
You know what? This exclusive demo for My Nintendo members actually gives a little bit of credence to the idea that go and sign up for a My Nintendo account now because we're expecting an E3 rush. If that was true, which I don't know if it is, I mean, just saying to My Nintendo members, not necessarily that you have to pay points for it, but just you have to have a My Nintendo account in order to get it.
If they did that, that would be, I think, one of the biggest moves they've ever made from an E3 perspective, and I think one of the boldest moves. And I think if you look at what they did last year with the Nindies, that's not a bad. You know, they did a test water of it. I think it had pretty good success. Like they had 9 games you could try out. But I think the other thing is that they still want so much. They're not meeting their numbers for Miitomo, right? They had those numbers, those goals originally. It's dropped and died off now. They need to re-spike people to want to go to Miitomo. So, by the way, you haven't signed up for Miitomo. This is a great way. If you do that in the My Nintendo's rewards program, you get to do the demo. So it's a good bait for sure.
Yeah.
Andre, agree, disagree?
I totally agree. That'd be amazing. I think that'd be a really awesome idea. It won't happen, but it'd be epic as hell.
Sit in my pajama pants, eat some Doritos, drink a Slurpee, and play it in my home while you guys are standing in line. Man, that's the sweetest deal coming.
Nice.
Next one, Alex says Nintendo announces Guillermo del Toro will direct a Metroid as a horror film coming out in late 2018.
That would be awesome.
It sounds atrocious to me. I don't want Guillermo del Toro anywhere near Metroid.
Nope.
Don't ever give him access to Metroid ever. Period.
No way. Right on. Well, here, let's play this out. That was the last one, right?
Yep.
Right on. Right on. Cool. Cool. Holy crap, dude. Does that actually put us at the end of the show? Or did we make it through?
We did.
We made it all the way. Wow.
Under 2 hours.
I want to ask a question though, because I didn't get to ask it in the Q&A section. Josh, when is the next Josh's Junk coming out? When's that release next?
Oh man! No, let's talk about that for a second.
Does this require an explicit tag on our podcast?
No, it does not.
It's
not.
No. What type of junk are we talking about?
Dude. Are you talking about
a blog channel now? Where he opens up weird things that are in his house, and I've been dying for the next episode of Josh's Junk.
Are you being serious?
I am being serious, yeah.
It's funny you say that because I literally am filming a bunch of episodes of that after we are done with this podcast.
Oh, nice.
My kitchen table is filled with Joshy's junk right now.
Good.
Nice.
I'm excited.
Speaking of stuff that you're doing, Josh, do you want to just spend a couple moments and talk about your digital event that you just recently had, kind of the response that you received? We've had actually a lot of our fans said, hey, can you guys ask Josh about that and what the experience was and kind of talk more about it? So kind of a couple moments of what that was like and what your response has been.
Well, it was really painful. It was a painful month of working on stuff. And then about a week before I was done, I lost some of the files, which was really fun. There was supposed to be a Super Monkey Ball thing in that. And there was supposed to be a few more Mario Party minigames. Unfortunately, I lost those files. But it's really exciting. It's fun. I tried to live stream it, but it was maybe the quality was kind of crappy when I live stream it, but it was really fun to watch people react, and it's been really positive so far. Everybody likes it. It's been fun.
What my question is, Josh, why, and I mean, I love what you're doing. I think it's awesome. Why are you not making video games?
Because I'm not a programmer, unfortunately.
Well, right, but as far as creative, as far as concept and all that sort of stuff, I don't know. It seems like it is ripe for you to be scooped up by some developer to have some awesome stuff done.
If any developers want to scoop me up, tell them feel free to scoop me right up.
Right on. Yeah,
anyway, we have a lot of developers that listen to our show.
It was really cool. I really, really liked it a lot. Actually, it was really awesome. So,
thank you.
I'm excited to see what else you've got coming.
Yeah. And this month there's going to be full episodes for some of the stuff shown there.
Nice. And you recently put up a video for your ukulele reaction video as well. Really great.
Oh man, ukulele! I cannot wait for that. That's my I'm most excited for that at E3.
I was actually going to say, talk about ukulele because that
Let's
game,
do that.
especially when it's tied in with the Mighty No. 9 stuff that's going on right now, that's the perfect example of how you do a Kickstarter right. Because Mighty No. 9 is just a train wreck. Meanwhile, ukulele, they were very smart because they didn't just trickle out information. They waited until they had a pretty much final build of the first two worlds before they made this trailer. And I personally think it looks fantastic. It's like the Banjo-Kazooie game I've waited years for. So I'm digging it.
Yeah. Who did everyone here back it, or who did or who did not?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
I didn't, but I don't ever back anything. So
Andre, did you?
No, I didn't. I wish I had in hindsight. I didn't, though.
Yeah, that's the same.
We'll have to ask Marty next week if he backed it.
Oh yeah,
I did. Mighty No. 9 and is regretting every minute of it.
I did not back ukulele, but I did back Bloodstained. I do wish I had done ukulele though.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited that I did. I think I did it to where I can get the toy box thing, which is going to be coming out. I think what did they say in July?
Pretty soon.
Yeah. Yes, I'm very excited about that. That's awesome. I love 3D platformers, and for some reason they're gone, and I don't know why. So I really hope that ukulele kind of sparks more developers to say, hey, that really worked for them. Let's do that as well. Including Nintendo, because a lot of Nintendo stuff is 2D platformers these days.
I'm sick of 2D platformers.
Yeah, even when they're good, I'm kind of this is good, but...
Yeah. No, I think ukulele's a step in the right direction, but I also feel like they're feeding on the right type of nostalgia, and the humor is exactly what the humor from the old Banjo games was too. The fact that they were making fun of nuts and bolts in the trailer, where they were do we trust the developers to make our game without a car level or whatever? It was just so funny.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. And I love that their voices are
yeah,
gibbery sound. They're great.
Yep, perfect.
Right on. Well, thanks everybody. I think take a couple of minutes. Josh, if you have anything else you want to pimp, and then we'll move on to Roger and Andre as well. So anything else, Josh, to point people towards? Where can they find you?
Well, they can find me at TheBitBlock on YouTube, and later this month, I'm looking at my Twitter to figure out what date I announced. On June 25th, I'm going to be putting up the full episode of the next Animal Crossing Make Believe, and then on July 3rd, I'm going to show the full episode for the Mario Kart Battle Make Believe episode, which is going to show new characters, brand new weapons, new ways to play the battle mode, and all sorts of fun things.
Sweet. Right on. Awesome. Roger, where can people find you, man? Where, if they want to get more of your goodness, where can they find you online?
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about this is you could find me RogersBase everywhere. I actually just got a PS4. I had a PS4, but I didn't have a PS4 here. I had one in Chicago, and then I just got lazy and never brought it back from Chicago. But now I have a PS4 because Burning Blood and Overwatch have kind of taken over my life, and I am RogersBase on PSN, so you can add me RogersBase there. I'm also RogersBase on Twitter. Of course, I have my own YouTube channel where I talk about Nintendo and anime and video games and a whole bunch of fun stuff. That's also RogersBase. I'm RogersBase on Twitch. I'm RogersBase on Miiverse. I'm RogersBase on BlackPeopleMeet.com. So, yeah, search for me everywhere. You'll find me.
Very cool. I like it. And Andre, thanks for joining us, man. It's been awesome.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun doing this. So yeah, you can just find me on GameXplain as well. It's pretty easy. Just type in GameXplain, it'll take you there. We'll have a lot of stuff from E3. Well, I won't say we'll have a lot of stuff at E3. We will, probably not as much as in years past. But I will say this: we do have a lot of Nintendo appointments, so there will still be a lot of Nintendo coverage, even if they're not showing a ton of stuff. So make sure to stay tuned for all that.
You have a lot of appointments?
If you guys are not following, Andre or Roger, they will actually be at E3. So I'm sure they'll be tweeting out lots of photos or images. They've both got a lot of work they're doing as well. But if you're looking for kind of a bird's eye view of what's going on, make sure you check out what their work is. We'll be retweeting and sharing their work as well to make sure that it's our audience. But follow them, please.
Absolutely. Right.
Side note, though, you have multiple appointments. You made multiple appointments because I literally made one and I debated even making one.
I have like three different Zelda appointments.
What? Wow. No, I literally, because they were like, did you want to book stuff like media things? And I was like, yeah, I'll have one appointment, same time, last day of the show, like I always do. It'll be cool. But 3, wow. Yeah. Wow, you have far more faith than I do in this E3.
I think they're gonna bring it. Like I've been a little bit negative on their E3 in general, but when it comes to Zelda, I think they're gonna bring it this year, and I feel like there's going to be a lot to see and do in that demo. So I want to make sure I got my bases covered here.
Well, it'll be good to see you again, because I think last time I saw you was last E3. So
that's right, briefly for like 30 seconds, I think.
Yep.
Nice, right on. Well, Justin, of course, as we kind of wrap up the show here, we are going to be doing something. I actually am looking at my calendar. Are we going to do like live reactions or something? What do you think?
We are going to try and do live reactions to the stream that opens up on June 14th, guys. So check out our Facebook and Twitter feed. We'll send out links to our reaction as things are happening. Kind of through that entire day, actually. I know that I basically got the day off, and I think so does Jesse. So we may be popping in and out and having conversations on Twitter and Skype, and we'll get people to join if they want. Later that night on the 14th, though, we are joined by good friends of the show, Marty, Bobby, Dave, and Cass, to break down basically all the entire day's activities and what we've seen from day one. And obviously we'll continue our coverage on Facebook, Twitter, and all of our social medias as well.
Right on. Very cool. And as well, if you want to follow us on all of the social medias, you can do so on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Nintendo Dads. We're going to have all sorts of E3 coverage up there and our reactions. So stay tuned for that. If you want to email us your predictions or your reactions to E3, we'll read them off on the next show. That's nintendodads@gmail.com. If you want to catch us here every Wednesday night, or I guess it's Tuesday night next week, just check us out at youtube.com/c/nintendodads. And of course, if you want to call in and leave us a voicemail, you can do that 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. If you want some sweet Nintendo Dads merch, go to tiny.cc/Nintendo Dads store. Big thanks to OC Remix for our music throughout the show, as well as to Carter Johnson for our artwork. Check her out at megacarter.tumblr.com. And if you want to change the world, which I know that you do, go over to iTunes, leave us a 5-star review, written review. Tell us that you love us. Tell us that we're amazing. Tell us that you believe that Josh, there is hope for him. There is hope. I believe it.
I love the Nintendo Dads, and I believe in the Nintendo Dads, so go give them a 5-star review on iTunes. Now! Why are you go now?
Absolutely.
Don't do anything else, but go give them a 5-star review. You know what? I'm not eating until you go give them a 5-star review. I'm on a hungry strike.
Josh, you're supposed to encourage them to give them a 5-star rating.
Oh. I will personally slap Andre in the face if you go give them a 5-star review.
I was going to say, if you go on a hunger strike, it's fine. I'll just give your food to Lamar Wilson and he'll review it for me.
Right on. Right on. Well, from me, from Josh, from Roger, from Andre, from Justin, Jesse, and myself, We will see you all on the other side of E3, and take care, everybody. The hunger strike begins.
Begins right now.
Hunger striking.
Right now. Give him a review. Give him a 5-star review.
All right. Good stuff.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
We have the best internet friends ever.